How to be successful? That's a big question. There's a lot of things that separates a successful person from an unsuccessful person. And that's why I came up with a list of 10 different key elements of what successful people do as opposed to unsuccessful people, and what you can do to change your life to be successful. Stick around, there's a lot of value in this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. Being successful is a skill, and I think just like any other skill, it has to be mastered, it has to be learned. And for that reason, I've come up with a list of 10 things that successful people do that separate them from the rest of the herd. There's a lot of great value in this video, so stick around to the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like this content, you want to see more like this, please like and comment on this video. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to answer them down below. And yeah, let's get into it. So number one, the mental awareness that people have that are successful. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to think differently than everybody else. Your mindset is the number one thing that separates you from the rest of the people if you want to be successful. Successful people, they believe in themselves. So mental awareness is the first thing that they really master and they learn how to control. They are masters of their own mind. They don't doubt themselves. They don't think they can't do anything. They think they can do everything. They think they can do anything. And that's the first step, is believing in yourself and having that mental awareness and really thinking differently than everybody else. So number two, being hungry. And I think this one is very, very important, because wanting to succeed more than everyone else is what drives successful people to be successful. The first step to success is desire. You have to want it so bad that you're willing to put in the work that nobody else has, and that's what drives results. If you haven't seen the documentary The Last Dance yet, it's on Netflix. It's a great documentary. It talks about Michael Jordan's life and his past, what he's done, and how he's overcome adversity to really become the greatest to ever play the sport. And there's a lot of value in that documentary. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from Michael Jordan and what he did to get to where he got. You know, he was cut from his varsity high school team or his JV high school team, and that didn't take away from what he wanted to accomplish. It just drove him harder. It just drove him more. He wanted to be even more successful because of that, not despite that. And that's a huge, huge lesson. You know, wanting to succeed is going to make you succeed. If you want that so badly that you're going to go out and do things that nobody else is willing to do, you're going to be successful. You just have to take the action, which is what number three is taking action. You know, taking the opportunities when they come up in your lifetime, making sure that you recognize opportunities when they present themselves in your life, taking that action and really going after those things. That's a humongous step of being successful. You got to make sure that if you see something that can really evolve into something worthwhile and meaningful in your life, you know, recognizing opportunities when they present themselves in your life and really going after it. Successful people are not lazy people. They will do whatever it is that they need in order to become successful. Like I said, being successful is a skill, and you have to learn how to be successful. You can't just sit around waiting to be successful. You have to go out and try to become successful if you want to be that way. I learn a lot of my information from people who have already been to where I want to be. I learn and I take lessons from other experts in the field and other people who have already achieved what I'm trying to achieve. So number four, not letting other people discourage you. There's a lot of people out there that are in your life that may or may not even know that they're discouraging you. You know, maybe they think they're joking. Maybe they think that it's funny to pick on you or whatever. Or maybe they actually do not believe in you, and that's even worse. That's even more discouraging. Those people should not be in your life if that's the case. You have to believe in yourself even when others don't, especially when others don't, because other people are not meant to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. As long as you understand what it is that you want to accomplish and you believe that you can accomplish those things, you can do it. Henry Ford has a famous quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." And that is so, so true. And I really believe in that. If you guys really think that you're going to be successful and you are going to accomplish everything that you want in your life, and you really, really believe that, you're going to do it. You know, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna make sure that whatever it is that you need to do is done. You get it done. There's a reason why every motivational speaker and influencer and successful business person have all the same ideals and preach the same message. If you take Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Robert Kiyosaki, all these famous, influential business people, and you look at them and you listen to what they're telling you, it's the exact same message across the board. It's always that you have to believe in yourself, you have to take action, you have to not let other people discourage you. It's the same exact message because it's true. It's not a hoorah type of thing. It's absolutely true. You have to believe in yourself if you want to make it in this world. You have to believe in yourself if you want to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. If you don't believe in yourself, if you have those doubts in your mind, you're never going to make it. You have to get rid of those doubts. You have to overcome those fears and really just go after what it is that you want to go after. And which is number 5, which is not stopping no matter what it is or how difficult something gets, and persevere through everything. You can't give up on the first sign of defeat. You can't give up just because something feels like it's not working right away. There's a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. That book is so gold. It's got so many great values, so many different things that you can learn from it. If you haven't read that book, I highly suggest it. If you're not big into reading, just listen to the audio tape. Listen to the audiobook. That's what I do. I work out and I have an audio tape on and I'm just listening to books, and it really puts me in the right mindset. So in that book, Napoleon Hill writes about a gold miner who, it's called 3 Feet from Gold, who stopped mining because he couldn't find the gold that he was mining for, and ended up selling his equipment to a junk man who brought in a purveyor to scope out the land. And the purveyor basically told him, look, these guys didn't know what they were doing. They didn't understand how these fault lines worked. And he told him that, I know how these work. If you want to find gold, dig 3 feet from these gold diggers were looking. And the junk man did exactly that, and he found gold, which is a humongous lesson, because those people who gave up and decided not to keep on digging were literally 3 feet from riches. They were literally 3 feet away, which is a great example of perseverance and making sure that you just keep pushing through any adversity, any problems that come in your life. I'll give you an example of with some of my own businesses. There's been times where I've worked on something for weeks and weeks, and I've tried to get something to work. I built a website and I built all these awesome graphics and I put all this work in on my copy and my ads and all these things. And I run my ads and they don't work, and I can't figure out what's going on. And there's been times where I wanted to give up, and there's been times I wanted to be like, you know what, something's wrong. I'm not doing this right. I don't believe in myself. And I have this doubt in my mind that comes back. And instead of giving up, I decided to push through. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something else. I'm going to make a couple more tweaks and see if this works instead. And after, those first couple of tweaks didn't work, I tried it again. A couple more tweaks didn't work, tried it again. And then all of a sudden, boom, my business exploded. It was just a few small little tweaks that I needed in order to go from 0 to a lot, and it's a humongous lesson that a lot of people don't know or don't follow, is like, you can't give up. You can't just stop. You have to really give yourself the opportunity to succeed if you want to succeed. And no matter what happens in your life, no matter, how many times you get pushed down, you got to get back up. There's this awesome quote by Vince Lombardi. I'm a huge Packer fan, so I love this quote, obviously. But the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. And it's so true. If you don't have that willpower, you don't have that perseverance, you're not going to be successful. Winners have that sense of willpower. They have that pride. They have that drive that nobody else has. That's how you become successful. Which brings me to number 6, self-improvement and being consistent. Trying to be better than you were the day before and keep improving on yourself. I truly believe in this. I really think that you have to try to be better every single day. You have to try to break any bad habits that you have and recognize those bad habits. That's a first step. You have to be able to recognize those bad habits. If you're waking up at noon every day and you want to wake up at 8 a.m. or you're waking up at 10 a.m., you want to wake up at 6 a.m., whatever it is, you have to recognize those things and you have to try to change those things if you want to be successful. If you want to be different, you have to stay consistent. Consistency is key into driving results. And I'm going to take going to the gym, for example. Going to the gym to achieve those results that you want in your body and your physical strength, that is a huge, huge commitment that you have to make to yourself if you want to see those results. You're not going to see results after the first, second, third time going to the gym, but if you go for a week, you may see some small changes. You go for a couple weeks, you're going to see a little bit more changes. And then you go for a couple months, and you're going to see some significant changes. And going to the gym and having that that sense of consistency and having that willpower to keep on going and pushing yourself every single day to be active and making sure that you're staying physically fit. That's the same exact mentality that successful people have when it comes to business and being successful in their own lives. It's the same exact thing, guys. It's staying consistent, staying driven, being hungry for change. All the same exact key elements that I've gone over so far in this video are the exact same things that you need when you want to change your physical appearance, when you want to become more physically fit as well. That brings me to my next point, number 7, which is health, physical and mental. Staying active and staying healthy, working out, keeping your bodies in shape, keeping their minds in shape, keeping their bodies in shape and peak condition. Successful people will do those things. If you ever see a really successful person, how often are they obese? Not very often. Most successful people that are driven in business are also driven in their physical health. They also will go out and they will try to make themselves fit, and they have that same drive when it comes to their physical and mental health that they do with their business ventures. And I think that's a humongous point. I'll take myself for example. There was a few years where I was depressed and I didn't have the drive, I didn't have that mentality. I was really doubting myself. I didn't really know, what I wanted to achieve in life. And not only did my physical health deteriorate, but my mental health deteriorated. And once I started working out again, once I started feeling better about myself, I pushed myself to get back into the gym. I started working out, told myself I was going to commit every single day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to, work out 5 days a week at least. I'm going to eat right. And when I did those things, my mental health skyrocketed. I started getting more self-confidence. I started feeling better every single day. I'd wake up feeling just motivated and wanting to go and get stuff done. And that was a huge eye-opening experience for me. I think a lot of people, they wait around and they think that success is just going to come to them, and it's not. You have to go out and you have to make yourself successful. You have to want to be successful. I think it really starts with taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, feeding yourself information, feeding yourself the right foods, making sure that everything inside of here is as healthy as it can be in order to become successful. Which brings me to my next point, number 8. Seeking knowledge, I think, is a huge part of success. People who are successful don't stop learning. They don't stop teaching themselves. Just because they went to college, if they even went to college, doesn't mean that they're going to stop learning. I think people who stop learning once they finish college are the people that don't make it far in life. Those are the people that settle for average and settle for mediocrity. And I think that, if you want to be successful, if you want to be different, and you really want to achieve greatness or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your lifetime, you have to learn more. You have to want to expand your knowledge, and you have to want to take on more information. That's why I'm constantly reading, listening to audiobooks, listening to experts, reading articles, doing all this research, doing all these things that I know are going to make me successful in the long run, because I want to take on more information. I want to learn more, and I want to try to evolve in my mind. I want to expand my knowledge on whatever it is that I'm trying to understand. And successful people do the same thing. They're always learning. They're always trying to pick up more information. And if you want to be successful, I think it's really smart for you to start reading. You listen to wealthy people, they all say the exact same thing. And that's, I read X amount of books a week. Warren Buffett, I think, is a great example. He says that he reads multiple books a week, which, that's smart. That's what you should do if you want to be successful. That's exactly what you should do if you want to be successful. You should be learning. You should be teaching yourself new things, new techniques, new tactics, new information that you don't know prior, because you're never going to understand something if you don't try to understand it. And that brings me to the next point, number 9, setting definite goals. Successful people have specific goals in mind. They want to achieve specific things. They set up a structured game plan on how to get to those goals. They don't just think that, okay, maybe if I do this, something might happen. They go after what it is by manifesting what it is that they want. And going after those goals is very important, guys. If you set a goal for yourself, you have to try to achieve those goals. It goes along with all the other points I've made in the last couple minutes here. Make sure that you are setting a goal and you are going after that goal. Don't just give up at the first sign of defeat. Take action. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't stop no matter how difficult it gets. Keep improving yourself. make sure you do all these things, guys. Everything that you want in life can be accomplished as long as you take the action necessary to accomplish those things. I hope that I can motivate you guys. I hope that this video helps you guys realize a couple things. The point of this video isn't to discourage you or to make you think that you can't be successful. It's to do the exact opposite. I want you guys to think that you can be successful. You can do exactly what it is that you want to do. If you follow these things and you want to say you want to do something in life and you want to achieve a certain status in life or a certain job title or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, I want you to understand that you can do it. All you have to do is follow these general guidelines and just try to better yourself. Try to be a better person. Try to accomplish those things and try to go after what it is that you want to accomplish. And my last point, number 10, and I don't think this necessarily goes along with everything else, but I think it's really important if you are trying to be successful in business or in your financial life. Successful people know how to manage their money. And money management is extremely important when it comes to being successful, because if you don't know how to manage money, you're going to go broke. There's a lot of people that you'll see on Instagram, they're flexing fancy cars, fancy bags, clothes, whatever it is. Successful people understand that it's not about what you have physically, it's about what you have mentally. I think a lot of people see these physical items, these nice things that people have, and they just want to get it for themselves so that they can also be like them. It's like keeping up with the Joneses. But if you spend all your money on these vain objects, you're not going to be successful, guys. You're not going to have financial success in life if every dollar you take in, you're spending on a pair of sneakers or a Gucci bag or a Dior hoodie or whatever it is that you guys are buying. If you guys are taking everything that you get in and spending it on consumer goods, you're never going to be able to elevate your financial income. I truly believe in the mentality that Warren Buffett has: live below your means. You can live well below your means and still be comfortable. I make way more money than I've ever made in my entire life, and I'm living the cheapest I've ever lived in my entire life. And it's because I'm trying to elevate my income. I'm not trying to flex on what I have in the bank. I'm not trying to make it look like I have a lot of money. I know how much money I have. I'm trying to grow my wealth. I'm trying to become successful in my finances, not in what other people perceive me as. And a lot of people, especially on today's day and age with Instagram and YouTube and all these other places, they make these fancy lifestyles look so desirable. They're taking these trips to Bali and all these crazy places. And yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. For those people that can actually do that, if they are actually making that money and they're actually, they have a lot of money to spend, then okay, cool, spend that money. But for you guys just starting out in business that want to become successful and you want to become financially literate, you have to spend your money wisely. There's a lot of memes online that you saw that people were spending their stimulus checks on Gucci and Louis and all these crazy places. They're taking their $1,400 and they're running off with it and spending it on the first big item they could buy. If you're going to be successful, guys, you could have invested that $1,400. You could have put that money into your business, into your brand, into stocks. You could have put it into anything that would have grown, into real estate. You could have done so many different things with that money besides spend it on consumer goods. And that's the first sign of financial literacy, is if you didn't take that money and just blow it on something. If you use that money wisely and you think about how you can grow that money, how you can grow that $1,400. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and if you don't have extra money, that $1,400 could have gotten a long way for you. But that just closes up my point, guys. You have to be financially literate. You have to manage your money correctly if you want to be financially successful. And that's just something that successful people do. They know how to manage their money. They know how money works. They make money work for them. So yeah, so that's everything, guys. That's the list of 10 things that separate the successful from the unsuccessful. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. I hope you guys put some of these practices into your own life and start working on yourself in a way to become more successful. And I hope you guys start bettering your own lives and trying to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave a like and a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.